Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Browse News broadcast. According to a report by Zhaobao, the U.S. Trump administration is expected to formally announce that it will not extend the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. This move will initiate a 6-year review process under the agreement's sunset clause and start a 10-year countdown toward ending the 32-year-old North American Free Trade Zone. While Mexico and Canada have called for a 16-year extension, President Trump's stance has shifted due to a growing trade deficit with Mexico, partly driven by supply chain shifts away from China. Trump has repeatedly expressed a preference for imposing high tariffs on automobiles, steel, and aluminum from Mexico and Canada instead. Key points of friction in the renegotiations include demands for a significantly higher proportion of U.S. and local components in North American automotive manufacturing, as well as trade protection measures aimed at preventing Chinese products from exploiting the agreement to bypass tariffs. If the three nations fail to reach a consensus on revisions during the annual reviews, the USMCA is set to expire on July 1, 236. According to a report by Thai Sounds, sources reveal that the World Bank plans to phase out all lending to China by 2031. Reflecting China's status as the world's second-largest economy. Under a consensus reached within the 5-year country partnership framework, the World Bank is expected to cap loans to Beijing at $2 billion between now and 2031 before fully terminating them. Over the years, World Bank loans to China have already steadily declined, dropping from $2.4 billion in 2017 to an estimated $750 million in 2025. The United States and other developed nations have long urged multilateral lenders to stop providing development aid to China, arguing that its economic scale makes it ineligible for such financial assistance. In response to the news, the U.S. Treasury Department praised the move as a step in the right direction, emphasizing that China should no longer receive aid from multilateral institutions. U.S. officials have also called on other organizations, including the Asian Development Bank, the International. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu traveled to occupied Lebanese territory on June 30th to meet with soldiers stationed in the southern region. According to a report by Liberty Times, Netanyahu maintained a firm stance, declaring that Israel will not withdraw its forces from southern Lebanon as long as the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group continues to pose a threat. He stated that the presence of armed Hezbollah fighters remains an unacceptable risk to Israeli security. During the visit, the Prime Minister praised the military achievements of the Israel Defense Forces, noting that recent operations have significantly reduced Hezbollah's weapon stockpiles and resulted in the deaths of approximately 9,000 militants. He issued a clear directive to his troops, instructing them to act immediately if they encounter any threats to their own lives or the safety of their fellow soldiers. This visit comes despite recent diplomatic efforts, including a U.S.-backed agreement aimed at establishing a broader peace framework between Israel and Lebanon. According to Yahoo News, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, the chief representative of Iran's negotiation team with the United States and the Speaker of the Iranian parliament, announced that Iran, the U.S., and Lebanon have agreed to establish a joint committee to monitor the end of the Lebanon war and the restoration of Lebanese national sovereignty. Ghalibaf stated that efforts are currently underway to implement the mechanism effectively. Additionally, under a newly established Memorandum of Understanding, Ghalibaf announced that transit fees for vessels navigating the Strait of Hormuz will be waived for the first 60 days, primarily aiding ships stranded when the strait was closed. Meanwhile, U.S. envoys, including Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, arrived in Qatar to discuss the implementation of an initial agreement with mediators. This comes after intense clashes in the Persian Gulf over restoring navigation in the strait. Earlier this month, the U.S. and Iran reached a tentative agreement to dilute Iran's enriched uranium in exchange for oil sanction waivers and free navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, providing both nations 60 days to finalize a broader, comprehensive deal. According to a report by Yonhap News Agency, South Korea's monthly exports surpassed the U.S. $100 billion mark for the first time in June, driven by robust sales of semiconductors and artificial intelligence (AI) infrastructure. Outbound shipments surged 70.9% year-on-year to reach $102.25 billion. Meanwhile, imports rose 30.1% to $66.1 billion, yielding a record-breaking monthly trade surplus of $36.15 billion, the first time the country's monthly trade balance has cleared the $30 billion threshold. The performance was heavily anchored by the semiconductor sector, where memory chip demand pushed monthly exports past $40 billion for the first time, nearly tripling to $44.82 billion. Additionally, outbound shipments of computer products soared over 300% to $5.41 billion, while mobile devices and automobiles gained 51.9% and 5.8% respectively. Regionally, exports to both China and the United States surged to $20 billion each. Industry Minister Kim Young-kwan attributed the record-setting first half to AI-related demand, but cautioned that the second half of the year may face persisting global economic uncertainties, including volatile oil prices and U.S. tariff measures. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.